Welcome back, everyone. So let's remove the bookmark and continue the next chapter. Liberators, begging for their lives at your feet, their hands up, and they're in a prone position. Déjà Vu says, no hard feeling, right?
Duran readies his blade.
Oh, now. And might I say, you have amazing skill with that blade. Where did you get it from?
You have made gestures against us that are aggressive. If you do not reveal our exit, we will strike you as an enemy.
No, of course. I know exactly the situation I'm in, and the Dark Lord, praise him, praise the Master and all that, but my life is a little bit more important, if you catch my drift. Can't praise him if you're not alive.
Duran raises his blade higher.
I pull the hammer back on one of my pistols as well, and am pointing it.
Do they seem like they're genuine?
So rolling an insight check, of a 14, they seem very fearful for their life, and as genuine as someone who wants to live can be.
I will fly and come behind Duran and Silmith to sort of back them up, and if I can, I'll put my hands forth on both of their shoulders and twin cast Cure Wounds.
Duran returns a brief but kind smile back to King, and then turns back to Déjà Vu, since, they're still kind of locked in.
So as you go ahead and start to cast your Cure Wounds and healing your allies, Déjà Vu begins to slowly back up a little bit on the ground. Doesn't stand up or anything like that.
Oh, no, you don't. I pull out the other pistol and pull that hammer back on that one.
What did you want with those crystals anyway?
I didn't really want it. The chaos armor and everything, it makes you a little crazy sometimes. I didn't be so aggressive, but the Dark Master needs these for, his dark plan, of course.
What is this plan that he has?
They go, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know what evil beings and creatures want to do. Take over the world, the multiplane, and all that.
Minako uses her rod to restore one warlock spell slot, and then she will once more cast Hex, this time giving them disadvantage on any charisma ability check.
Okay.
And she she just casually draws a sign of a curse in the air.
Dark curse appears, the symbol of the entity within you, and Déjà Vu shudders and they look around. I said there's no need to be hostile. I'll tell you everything you know. I promise. I don't want to lose my life here. I'm an aspiring thespian. I have a lot of years ahead of me.
Tell us everything about why you're doing here, and what you wanted, and who this Dark Lord is, and she kind of doesn't really know where to go from there.
And speak to me more about this chaos armor that you have.
That stuff needs destroyed.
Roll me intimidation check at any. I was in Minako. Roll me intimidation check at advantage. 23. Right. Like I said, I'll tell you everything I know. The Dark Master. He needs to use the crystals in combination of the Heaven's Dew that's found in Thelos to play a little song. And he may not know that I know this, but I like to keep myself knowledgeable, both foes and allies. But apparently there's this song that the symphony plays, and then when played backwards, it says something else, something darker. And he's been sending out his minions to capture and corrupt the symphony crystals and listen to the song it plays backwards, each giving a new part of the song, I think. And once completed, he'll have what he needs to unlock something. I think he's not in his true form. I overheard him talking with one of his generals, and in order for him to get to said true form, he has to, play the password, which must be what this backward symphony is. So I was charged to get the crystals that only grow here in Shiverin, and then play a little game with the Thelosians and get some too. Mix them together and, you know the rest. And this chaos energy you speak of, how much do you know of the Void?
I know that it has a dark energy to it, and that it's different than the normal arcane means.
It's old black magic.
That's the thing, though. I don't think it's magic.
Not in the way that we understand modern magic. It's ancient.
That could be a possibility.
Well, you're all partially correct. This armor is called Chaotech. It's energy derived from, well, the chaotic realm, where I've heard is the whole cause of this whole void mess. Can't you feel it when you adventurers go up and down the curses? That's the chaos energy taking form. Doesn't like to let things go easily. And what you know of magic is only a sliver of chaos. Order brought on by, well, ancient gods who didn't want things to roam free. But what is order? Yet another form of chaos. Chaos that you call magic in your schools of evocation and enchantment, blah, blah, blah. So archaic. And then they begin to stand up and they walk on over to, slowly, Horatio, squinting their eyes. They say, "Have we met before? Something about you. Can't quite put my finger on it." And they begin to walk around you in a very close and almost uncomfortable manner.
I don't believe we've met, no.
No, I know in essence when I feel it. There's a familiar odor about you. You sure you've never been to the Dark Kingdom? Or dabbled in some type of chaos ritual? I don't know. It's interesting, though.
What do you mean?
Oh, I don't know. Just, I get a sense of nostalgia from you. And I've been around for quite some time, serving the Dark One.
What is the Dark One's name?
Oh, he goes by many names, but even I'm not privy to his true name. We just call him Dark Master, Black One, the Wretched One, Dark Lord, whatever evil means of description you can think of.
Do any of those sound like synonyms or like other names for gods?
Roll me a history check. You're not sure. You can't quite put your finger on it, unfortunately.
Does any of this sound like things that tieflings would just know about, like Dark Lords from the Dark Kingdom? I mean, we know about the Dark Kingdom, but...
Correct. With all of our proficient minds.
Those of you who are from here, you know that there's Thelos Shivrin in the Dark Kingdom, where the demons have banded together after popping up in wherever they decided to pop into existence, and then went east and built that whole kingdom. You know it's a dark place where this black energy, seemingly this chaos energy that they're speaking of, just floods and fluctuates. These names you've heard before, and you know that there's some type of king or leader that's commanding the demons there, though you're not sure what that would mean past that.
Okay. Minako, do you think this confused thespian is talking about the leader?
Minako seems extremely concerned. She looks up and says, in Infernal, this is crossing a line. And then switches back to Common and says, "You work for, you come here and you sent all those everyone to their deaths, and now you're expecting to bargain your life for some information?"
I mean, that's the name of the game, isn't it, darling? I have information you may need, and I want to live to fight another day. And I can tell you anything else you need. Just do I have your word? And I'll get to leave out of here alive.
Minako gives King a look like, are you serious?
How far does your allies, how many allies do you have in this kingdom? Is everyone under the control of the Dark Lord?
Yes, that's exactly how that works on that side. All of the demons you've seen come from there.
No, I'm saying here in Arrowwatch. How much of the town is infected?
It doesn't seem like there's much of a town left. We seem to be the only ones here.
I mean, just because they're getting out alive doesn't mean that they are free. We can still take them and have them arrested and tried.
I think we should definitely take them back.
I say in Elven scripture that says, "Leave a corruption in the land, and you sow the seeds of your own destruction." And
Are you saying that in Elven?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I can tell that there's a little bit of animosity between us, so I surely he will tell you that all my words are true, and I can let you know plans. I can even draw you a map of the Dark Kingdom if you want. I'm sure that's something the higher-ups would love to have. I mean, of course, after I've safely left the tower.
The problem with that is that we don't really have the authority to make that decision.
I mean, you can just kill me, but I do have information that I'm sure your daimyo can need. In terms of what happened to everyone here, well, okay. I have to admit, I'm evil. That's true. I work for the Dark One. So did I send them to their deaths? Well, if they're strong enough, they may have defeated the demons that ambushed them. And in terms of who else works for me, well, us in the Dark Kingdom, there was Balin and Jalen, who were tasked in being lieutenants of the army here, and of course, we were able to unlock him. Enceladus, I believe, was the general's name.
This whole time, Duran is like shaking with fury, fuming at this, and he can no longer contain his anger. He's gonna strike Déjà Vu.
Wait!
Non-lethally, of course.
Oh, okay. Roll an attack. So are you just striking with your fist then?
No, with the he's gonna strike with the flat side of the magnetic dual-bladed scimitar.
Okay. Roll damage.
Horatio would say, listen, if he has information, we can use it. I say we let the daimyo handle his trial.
I agree.
Okay, Duran, you take the blunt side of the blade, smacking into Déjà Vu's face. Déjà Vu falls into the ground, goes, ah! And it's stunned onto the ground. Ah! That was uncalled for. And I do need to know, what blade is that? How do you wield the power of chaos? If it wasn't for that, well, this would have been the opposite.
Duran hits them again.
Okay, are you trying to knock them out?
Yes.
Okay, you can roll an attack at advantage. Yeah. They don't get a chance to deflect it or done, and you once again strike them, knocking them on the ground like, oh dear. And they are knocked out onto the ground.
I think it is probably for the best.
Yes, so we should probably tie him up and make our way back.
What about Glem?
I can't believe he just told them like that.
Glem kind of comes out of the rubble after being tossed by Déjà Vu there from before and goes, everyone okay? That was intense. Oh, I thought I was a goner.
You're a regular old adventurer now.
Look, I had nothing to do with it, I swear. Mr. Sill, please don't attack me again. I promise you. I thought that it was Ray. I know Ray. Ray's a close friend of mine. She's a lawyer adjudicator, and
What's your next move then?
I don't know. The adjudicators here, they're all gone. I have to get back to Queen Camilla. This is really bad news. Arrowwatch was the main defense. We have, of course, Thelos. We can't really trust the Thosians, and then the demons that crossed over here from.
Well, then we have to get back.
I agree.
What, we're just gonna bring that thing with us?
We have to. We need to seek the correct amount of justice. And if this thing has information that we can... This could greatly help everyone.
I agree. And plus, I feel he might know them, and I probably have to speak to him in private.
I think we should take that cursed armor off of it, keep them bound, and take them with us.
Does Horatio notice a way to remove the armor from this individual?
Yeah, we should check their person to make sure there's not hiding any weapons or anything like that.
Ratios, you start to check out the body that's knocked out and don't happen to find anything. You don't see any items or any pockets or anything, just like one leotard. Looking inside is just more of that white, featureless body.
Can I look around the room and go investigate the crystal that Syl smashed and see if there's any other things like that in this space?
Okay, you can roll an investigation check. Okay, 16. You start to walk over to the right where the crystal is broken and shattered onto the ground. There are several pieces afoot. You start to check them out and surmise it's possibly an enchanted gem that had the spell, maybe a glyph of warding or anything on it, of an anti-magic field. And once destroyed, it broke the hold on it, looking around the rest of the room, you don't see anything else, but you do see 3 chests where 2 of them was pulled out of one of like the tables that Déjà, in the form of Ray, had brought out, and then you notice a 3rd. And as you kind of check it out and shake it, you do hear currency bouncing up and down inside.
Ooh, there's chests under the rubble over here. Come help me pull it out.
I'll assist.
Well, at least we're still getting paid.
Right, and the chests are not locked, and you manage to open it up, and let's say taking these few minutes to rest after the battle, if you are going to take a short rest, you can count it up, and you get about, after, roughly checking it, using magic to separate them and go through that motion, there's about 6,500 gold pieces inside of all,
nice.
like, combined.
Better in our hands than the demons anyway.
That's true.
I think there's around 6,600 gold pieces.
It's a fair assessment.
I wonder how much of this was legally up for, the kingdom here and keeping the tower safe. How much of this is just stolen? Do we even have a right to just take it?
And how many lives were stolen here as well?
Clem kind of walks up and says, I think you should take it. I mean, it was a quest given. I mean, albeit it was given by a demon, or I don't know what that was. But you deserve it, so, the spoils are yours. I don't think Queen Camilla will have an issue with that.
Well then,
It's better in our hands than in whoever comes here next.
yes, I agree. Here you go. And I'll start handing out the, everyone's fair share.
And what to do with our captive?
Duran, do you want to help me tie them up?
Duran looks down at Déjà Vu, disgust. I do not wish to touch them.
I can do it then.
No, you are right, Cal. Let me assist you. I am just deeply angered by what has transpired.
I understand. And I use my 50 feet of rope. How are we going to keep them from changing form?
I figure we do like a really, really heavy Shabbat tie set that's like so bonkers that even if you change shape, you'd still be really tied up.
And then we carry them.
Also, by the sounds of it, they need to speak to activate things, so maybe keep them quiet.
I see what you're saying, a ball gag.
Sounds like I'll follow your lead.
What time of day is it?
Dusk, always.
You probably wouldn't be too sure, although Horatio would know.
Horatio, what time is it?
Horatio feels what time it is.
You feel it's about, let's see, you rested, got there in the morning, so it's about afternoon.
I say it's past noon, maybe 1 or 2 o'clock.
Do you think if we held up here tomorrow, I could potentially send word immediately to the daimyo? They might want to open a scar.
I don't think they're gonna risk opening a scar again.
The entire watch has been destroyed. Things are completely just out of hand.
You are right, we should contact them, and maybe holding up here would be best.
Just knowing them, how likely do we think it is that they would risk opening another scar for this?
Those of you who has worked with the Demon Dancers, which would be the only tieflings in a party, you know that this would be a scar-worthy emergency because they have to inspect and voice the defenses, because Arawatch is one of the main defenses for Shipperin. Roll me an intelligence check, Horatio. Okay. Nothing comes to mind.
Do we have... Minako looks and says, if we could send another letter, they probably would open another scar. Just considering. The whole place has to be rebanned, and oh my goodness.
I agree. This is scar-worthy. This is bad.
So we should stay the night and get message to them in the morning through means that King will provide. Do we all agree?
As soon as possible.
I need to rest and recover and pray to my goddess to be able to seek the means to communicate to the daimyo. Do not have that ability yet, but I have faith that in the morning I shall.
Then we hold up here.
If faith is what we have to rely on. She seems a little nervous. At least our supplies will hold out.
King, noticing that she's a little downtrodden, I will say, do you not remember the miracle that we created together?
She brightens up a little bit. You're right. I'll start getting lunch together.
All right. So you all, at least for now, complete a short rest as you're talking and getting things together.
Duran spends his entire time watching you unconscious, Déjà vu with furious intent.
They are unmoving, still knocked out. Is there anything anyone wants to do before possibly you could take your short rest and then you have the rest of the day if you're going to stay the night here? Or we can go straight to the next day.
I definitely need to take some time and repair my magical pistol with my Tinker's toolkit.
Horatio would like to go explore Arrowwatch and see if there's a library anywhere to read up on that one god. I believe her name was Gaia.
Okay.
Minako will explore the kitchens.
All right.
So we'll go ahead and take a survey of the place around the tower, flying.
During this short rest, I'm going to use some hit die.
All right. You can all use your hit dice you see fit. And so a couple hours go by. So you begin to survey the area. Roll me a perception check.
Using my eyeballs?
Using your eyeballs. Okay. 28. You look and see in the distance the destroyed mountain the mountainscape that the empowered Déjà vu had made. Looking over, flying around, you also see this floor as well as Thelos in the background. The winding river is pushing strongly downstream, and you're also able to see faint tracks of where you assume the adjudicators that originally were in Arrowwatch have gone.
Is there any sign of any other life? It's actually absolutely ghost town.
Although Arrowwatch is large, and there's other small little huts and storage areas around it, but as you fly around them, they're all empty. Not a soul to be found. And it looks like for a little bit of time too, maybe a week or so.
Is there any way I could see from where I'm at if there's been like a struggle or anything?
No struggle. Looks like they left and just didn't come back.
Alright, I'll just go right back to the tower.
Alright. Minako, you walk down with Horatio, both of you, down the staircase. You confirm that the door that was locked has been opened, and take that large staircase, passing the statue of the three gods, Eros, Erebus, and Gaia, and continue making your way into this dusty halled tower with other pictures and statues of the new gods.
All this space, all this dust. I just can't believe they're all dead.
It is unfortunate. Hopefully justice can be had. I feel that the Dark Kingdom played a major role in that, though.
Maybe some good can come of this, but I don't think anything can ever outweigh how much destruction we see every day.
Horatio and Minako, you make your way down the steps, and it takes you quite a little bit, but you're able to peruse the halls and find a library and a kitchen. They're not too far apart, but you do split ways to get to each of your destinations. Minako, you come to the kitchen. Although dusty, it looks like everything's in order. A stove, oven, pots and pans, and utensils, all of high quality. Is that even silver? We're not quite sure, but you do know that Queen Camilla likes to revel in worldly pleasures every now and then, so it's not beneath her to want to purchase gaudy items.
She's not going to raid the kitchen, but she is going to look for any kind of specialty goods that are difficult to get your hands on that are delicious. She could surprise the party with on the road.
You do see a refrigeration system here using ice magic in a small but good size room. Think of it as like a deep freeze chamber, and you kind of open it up, and it's chilly, but you're used to the cold, especially how your magic works. And you can find all types of, and being trained in cooking, you see deer-like meat and bear meat and other types of creatures that are native to Shiverin that are being perfectly preserved.
She will take some choice cuts, but not excessively so.
All right. Get rare, delicious Shiverin venison and Shiverin boar meat and Shiverin bear meat. Things that you normally can't find because, demons eat them all. It's hard to catch, but they have them here. And you start to prepare a delicious meal. Horatio, walking into this large wooden door, you come across a humongous library, equal to, if not bigger, than the one that you found that the Electrum Seekers have. What are you looking for?
I would first look for a front desk area, kind of like where a librarian would be.
Okay. You do find a central area where there is a large half crescent desk.
I would walk towards it and check on the desk to see if there's anything that explains how the books are organized in this library.
Roll me investigation check. 13. You do find a library map explaining the different sections. It gives you quite a bit of information, and you feel that you can follow it well with your keen mind.
Okay, so I would like to find a book on Gaia and anything on outside energy sources, like anything in relation to what the void might have or be.
Right, roll me an investigation check at advantage. 17. It takes you a little bit because it's, say, about 45 minutes. It's such a large library. But you do find the books you're looking for. And following that, you look for Gaia specifically. And you come across a large book. The cover has infernal writing on it, so you can't read the title. But as you open up the page, you do see underneath the infernal, there's common as well.
What does it say?
So as you begin reading it, and it's a large book, and you see a whole bunch of information, the book reads almost like a story. And you start to turn the pages, and as you continue reading it, you begin to go faster, getting used to the subtitles of the infernal script. It says, ages ago, in a time long forgotten, they were the Aegis. They were heroes who rose up to protect the world where the gods, the Prolepsi, had failed. One by one, these heroes proved themselves worthy and were able to acquire enough power to ascend to godhood. The first and most powerful of these heroes were Gaia, Eros, and Erebus. They are known as the Trias, or the Trias. Those original Aegis, they brought order to a world that was in chaos, long forgotten by the Prolepsi. They were brilliant mages, and through the knowledge that they gained, that's how they were able to attain such divine powers. They found a famed door, and this part is hard to read because even the subtitles, the letters don't seem to mix together, but you gather from it, it must be something called Eustacia, but they found this Eustacia. Either that's the name of the door, or Eustacia means something else, you're not sure. And going through this Eustacia, they walked into the realm of the gods. And inspired by their heroics and driven with a sense of justice, more heroes rose up to defeat the minions of chaos that had infected the world, known as Igbriel. And you know Igbriel as the original name of Dusthaven. Eventually, the Aegis, which included not just the three Trias that came, but other heroes who also found the doorway following in their footsteps. They ascended to godhood and found that the original gods, the old gods, the Prolepsi, were misguided in their ways, that they forgotten the people from below, and that they were self-righteous, and they decided to shift the power in the heavens, and so a great war of supremacy began. After about a millennia of battles, the Aegis grew victorious and received dominion over the forces that their predecessors had once controlled. Though beaten, the Prolepsi maintained some of their power due to the mortals that worshipped them still. However, their battle between the two sets of gods fueled the power of chaos that had inflicted Igbriel, and more powerful minions and demons began to rip their way into that plane. Much stronger now, these new demonic creatures from the abyss, they began to cement their hold in Igbriel's realm, where they can further influence it with the power of chaos. Their goal, allegedly, were to destroy the door to Eustacia and bring chaos to flood and fluctuate all realms. And then as you continue reading, the goddess Nyx, one of the earliest of the Aegis, teamed together with, and this part gives you a shock as your heart skips a beat. Nyx put down her pride and teamed up with one of the Prolepsi by the name of Myliki. And with their blanket of earth and darkness, they began to bless the mortal planes with an energy to help them defeat the darkness that was growing. Though something went wrong in the process, and losing a connection between the two, Nyx was only able to influence the power of tieflings. And so, in choosing them, the tieflings worship her as one of their patron goddesses. One last thing that was spoken by Myliki before she was lost, it seems, in this process, where she spoke that to be blessed by the king to be crowned, would one day unite the great divide yet to come and will be her champion. Now, continuing to go through it, you focus more on Gaia. She seems to have been one of the stronger of the Trias, the leaders of the Aegis. Through her power, she held the power of chaos at bay, but it came at a great cost. And after an event, and you're not sure what, because the book doesn't go into details, but after an event with the other two of the Trias, a massive amount of chaotic energy was let forth into the planes, breaking reality asunder. And then your heart drops when you turn the page once more, and there is an artist's depiction of Gaia, and blinking, it looks like... No, it can't be. Yes, the artistry is different, the hair is different, but the face, you recognize that. If this is Gaia, then what could it mean? Looking down on the page, you see Susan Kane, almost like a twin, the visage of your mother staring back at you on the pages below. She kind of shut the book at that, startled by this, not wanting to look anymore because you're shocked. And then realizing the hours have passed since you've been reading it, you hold the book tightly, seemingly shook by this knowledge that you just received.
Horatio apologizes to the library and sticks the book in his bag, and then he leaves.
Everybody else, what are you doing? Or to say, all those who are still up in the tower. This will all happen over a couple hours of cooking and preparing and reading. We'll start with King. On top of the tower, meanwhile, what are you doing?
On top of the tower, after looking around and not finding anything, I'm going to come to the center and sit and meditate and pray and just say to Nyx and Myliki, guide me and deliver this place from corruption and evil. Help me bless this land and nourish its roots. And I will sit there and offer prayers until food is offered, and then I will join the group at that point.
All right. Cal? What is Cal doing atop the tower?
I go and retrieve my magic revolvers, which I had dropped, and I spend the next few hours in prayer while I take out my tinkerer's tools and begin working on the broken revolver. I'm kind of imbuing my introspection and prayer with Kalemvor to help aid me as I make the repairs.
Roll me an investigation check at advantage. 19. Okay. As you begin to clean the weapon and take it apart and repair your magical pistol, you see a strange shimmer coming from part of the revolver. You've always cleaned it and worked with it before, but you don't know, is it the lighting in here or just being in this room? But the part of the revolver starts to glow a same reddish black hue. That reminds you of what you just witnessed before with Déjà Vu. Eventually in Infernal, you see a scripture around the outer circle of the revolver, and you begin to read its infernal text, and it says, "Don't forget the evil that rises in the east, defeat the Dark King."
Oh my god. Kalemvor.
Roll me a religion check. Okay, 16. As you think of Kalemvor, you don't feel him. You may think at first that was his message, but this looks like it might have been here already on this magic gun, as if it was like a message that was hidden.
Can it be? And I start taking my cloth and grip it in such a way where I'm rubbing along the script and trying to get it as shined and cleaned as possible, noticing that it had kind of changed in front of me like that.
Okay. You kind of grip it, and one thing you do notice when you're gripping it, it feels a little bit warmer. And you flip it to the other side and notice there's still more additional text. But the text doesn't make sense. And it's an infernal number. Well, in Infernal, it's a number. 7, 13, 48, 22.
7, 13, 48, 22?
Yes.
I have to figure out what this means.
Right. Duran, what are you doing while you're on top of this tower?
So, is there anyone else watching over our captive, or are they just like...
It's just you.
Duran's gonna have to stay there making sure that they don't get away or anything. He's kind of struggling with the weight of everything that's just happened. That there's just kind of evil in that world. Duran looks over the body and King's words echo in his mind. But he knows himself to be a warrior and not a judge. He cannot choose a punishment for this but he feels conflicted in his heart. He feels that there must be a way to rid the world of evil like this, some way other than doing it with violence.
And as you begin to ponder, and as you sit there, the energy that you felt before doesn't go. You still don't know how it works, but every so often, puff of air or grace of the wind kind of that feeling comes over you every time. Like you feel a shifting in the air.
Duran sighs. If only I still had our magical earrings. Tell me now.
Is there any sort of like support structure or pillar in this room?
In the actual tower?
Yeah, the room we're in.
No, it's kind of just circular. The walls are built like a circular tower with a gigantic, well, more like a square citadel, but there's no pillars holding anything up because you're at the top. But there is a gigantic hole that you got.
Yeah. Sil's gonna. So is she already tied up? Have we established this?
Yeah, they're completely tied up, hog-tied, going nowhere.
He's gonna move her next to the hole, but like 5 feet away, and he's gonna sit down at the edge of the hole.
So you're picking them up and bring them to the hole?
Yeah, I'm gonna sit him like 5 feet away from the hole, but within reach of me. Then I'm gonna sit down at the hole too.
Okay. So Duran, you see Sil get up and walk over this body, unconscious body, towards the large gaping hole.
What are you doing?
Just insurance.
We can't, despite all the horrible things this person's done, I don't think we have the right to take their life. Not while they're defenseless.
What about all those people that died, defenseless at the camp?
Duran grimaces.
I'm not gonna kill her now. I'm just saying, if she tries anything, there's a hole right here, and it's much easier to throw her out.
Silith, I do not know the right thing to do. Even though I just said that we shouldn't. In my heart, I feel people like this, and evil like this. Maybe this world will be better off if He trails off, looking down at his blade and looking at the unconscious Déjà Vu.
Look, if you won't do it, then I will. One day. Not right now. We gotta rest right now.
Fair enough.
And then Sil will start playing his lyre while he's perched on the edge.
Alright. So after a few hours pass, a few things happen. First, Déjà Vu blinks their eyes and they begin to rouse up and that's all you hear coming from Déjà Vu as they begin to kind of twist a little bit. Not enough where it looks like they're getting out, but like they're trying to get comfortable.
He'll set up the prisoner on the other side of the hole so that they can look at each other.
And it seems like Deja's beckoning for like pointing towards their mouth as much as they can to kind of give a sense of not wanting to be gagged.
Sil will raise his eyebrow and then he'll just keep humming along with his lyre.
As Deja keeps going on and on, muttering to themselves. As well as you hear a call coming from down the staircase across the large interior of Monaco. At this point, you have completed the meal, and it seems like the best place to have this dinner, this glorious dinner that you have made, as you had tons of ingredients to use, is the dining hall that's right next to the kitchen. Is another door that leads into a large dining hall area that seems to be able to fit all of your allies.
They can all hear the ringing of a dinner bell as she minor illusions a sound to call everyone to the dining hall.
Of course, Horatio, Duran, King, Cal, and Sil, you all hear this.
At this point, Horatio would have been putting the book away, and he'll dry his eyes and head towards the sound.
Do you all go towards the sound?
Well, should we bring her for dinner, or
We should bring them with us.
You could just bring me food and I'll think about feeding her. If you wouldn't mind.
I think it would be best if I stayed also. I think that they are quite proficient in magic and things, so I would like to be around in case they try to do anything funny.
Then let us bring them with us to dinner then.
I think that is probably the safest thing. Hopefully they'll behave, and I look at them. Can you walk? Are your legs broken?
They're bound.
No, I'm not untying those legs.
Yeah, we really tied them up. Like we really went in on it.
Oh, then we should just carry them. I'd like to stay within 60 feet of Déjà Vu at all times.
Alright. So, who's staying and who's going?
We're all going from the sounds of it, and Déjà Vu's coming with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who's carrying Deja?
I said I would, but would somebody want to help me?
I'll help.
Now, two of you easily are able to pick up Déjà Vu. They're not particularly heavy. and you walk down the staircase, passing the statues and the artwork of the gods, for following the sound of the bell, making your way to a side chamber where you see opening up a door to a large dining hall with a wooden table with several seats placed similar to that of when you met the pontifex, or more so the priestess, and had dinner with them. A similar feature, and you walk up to it, see spread on the table a beautiful display of exotic foods, desserts, and the smell just wafts over your noses, and the feeling of hunger just encompasses you. Roll me a performance check on the meal, Monaco. At advantage. 25. Oh, it smells glorious, mouth-watering, and almost irresistible. As finally, Horatio, you walk in as well, and you all meet up together, getting ready to prepare yourselves for a meal. And then you also see Déjà is salivating a little bit.
No food for monsters. Cooking helps me relax, so I decided to put this all together. I hope you all enjoy it. I know we just came from something very terrible, but at least we can have this.
It smells amazing.
Thank you, Monaco.
And you all sit down and begin to eat Monaco's meal. If there's anything you want to discuss during dinner, you can, or we can skip past it. All right?
Duran is gonna take the opportunity to thank King for saving his bacon during the fight. Oh, cousin, thank you for healing me during the battle.
It was nothing. Anyone would do it. And you know I'll always save you. You never have to worry as long as I'm around.
Duran smiles and hugs King from the mark.
And I'll embrace your hug back.
At these times, I'm troubled with knowing what is right and what is wrong. But one thing I do know is that I trust you, and I trust you all as well.
I just want what's best for all of us. And I hope your trust not ill-placed. I will do my best to do what is right for you, and for me, and for all of us.
Cousin, what do you think we should do with Déjà Vu?
My dilemma is, if they truly believe in this dark god, and they are devout in their beliefs, then who are we to try and convert or change them? And also, we do not have the resources to do such thing. I think it is easiest to write this off as a casualty of war. After all, we are in a war with the demons of this land. We are allied with the daimyo now. We do this in his name and for the people of this land.
I just did not ever see us as the ones who would make the judgment call on whether or not someone deserves to live or die. In combat, it is always easy when you're just fighting.
Why is this not easy for you and others to see? They are corrupting the beautiful symphony and the magic that keeps the land safe. They outright say they worship a dark god, a vile corrupter who won't even share its names. It is a trickster and evil. Why is it hard to see that this is a being of darkness?
I understand that as a being of darkness, cousin, but when I'm not fighting an enemy with my life on the line.
Horatio says, if I may interject, while I understand your point of view, King, you also have to understand that if we just kill this one, they will just appoint a new one, and we will be back in the situation. What wins wars is information.
Okay, so if you wish to try and extort as much as you can out of this one, I am for that. But we are in an endless war, and I don't think that we should risk ourselves for one of them, is all I'm saying. If they happen to get away, they would infiltrate the kingdom with their abilities.
If we get the scar, though, I think we won't have to be in charge of it for too long. This demon thing. I say we hold on to it. Hold on to them. Give it to the daimyo, where they can answer all the questions under someone who may have a little more skill than us in getting the truth.
If they open a scar, then transportation is eliminated, because we would be immediately there.
Exactly. And this is the type of situation. Look, all of Aerowatch is gone. That doesn't just happen here. We've all become a part of this now.
And they also need to know how this happened. If we take away this individual, we are taking away a lot of knowledge from them.
Then keep them alive until we talk to the daimyo. I'll have an answer in the morning. We just need someone to be on constant watch.
I'll keep watch if we need it.
As you said, Horatio, let the daimyo decide.
He finishes eating his meal, looks at King kind of like worrisome, and then just continues eating.
Alrighty. So as you guys complete your dinner, finish your discussion, the entire time Déjà Vu is just seeming like begging for a meal, and you're all just ignoring their plea.
Duran moves a plate near their face.
As they seem annoyed as they can't eat.
Horatio summons Mage Hand and says, "Are you gonna behave yourself?"
Horatio, should they really be eating with us?
I mean, no, but are we just gonna let them starve and eat in front of them?
I have no problem eating in front of them.
We can feed them later whenever we're watching them all night. We have plenty of time to feed them later.
There's plenty to eat in the daimyo cells, I'm certain.
Well, I mean, I guess we can feed them later, yeah.
Monaco's food is a gift for the honest and mighty, and for the victors of the battle, not you.
Yeah, I was going to give them some hardtack from my rations.
Oh, that's fair. But I feel worried about them using word magic.
That's what the hardtack is for.
They begin to kind of jostle around and kind of try to sit themselves up, which after one try, they manage to kind of just like sit up, and now they're, instead of being sprawled on the ground, they're more just like on their ass looking at the food. Like, But if nobody pays any attention to them during the meal, you complete it. Delicious dinner made by Monaco. And you have the rest of the day to yourself. It's only about early evening.
Horatio would like to look in through Hootie's eyes.
Okay. So Horatio, as everyone finishes talking and you look in towards Hootie's eyes, you feel that he should have arrived at destination by now. Closing your eyes and reaching forth with your mind to connect to your familiar, you witness something you didn't think you would see before. Hootie's flying around the Temple of Nyx, and where usually you would see a beautiful snow-covered oasis almost. Now it's aflamed. 4 familiar dwarves you see burst out of one of the side entrances, holding something into their hand that's glowing. Roll a perception check for Hootie.
That's +4?
4, yes.
At advantage or no?
Yes, at advantage. Alright, 23. And you can listen and see through Hootie?
Yes.
Okay. Hootie gets a little bit closer, and they don't seem to notice, but their forms begin to shift, and they turn from their dwarven forms to familiar elven visage. It looks like it's Duran's warband and Doramo. Bursting behind Doramo, who's holding this metallic shard in his hand that's glowing, you see a familiar tiefling, gray with horns, bursting through the doorway, and it's the daimyo. You wretched fiend! Give that back now! Oh, you must be the daimyo I've heard so much about. Well, you played right into my hands, letting out your strongest demon dancers to inspect that Enceladus cave, and you leave yourself defenseless. Now, unless you want to get even more hurt, and I hope you do, back away, as the shard is mine. I mean, ours, he says, looking back towards the rest of the warband. Vagary style, ultimate wind slice! And the daimyo jolts across the field, almost lightning speed, slashing across to Doramo. Doramo goes, I know this trick. Holds out his hand, and the daimyo freezes in midair, floating in this suspended animation. Doramo walks up towards the daimyo, flames engulfing the background, as you see several other demon dancers sprawled on the ground, knocked out. I'm glad you made the right decision. I'm gonna need you to sleep now, and never wake up. Chaos, dark destruction. And holding out his hand, you see a similar black and red energy come out of his fingertips and completely engulf the daimyo in midair. The daimyo can't even move or scream in pain, but you can see within his eyes the wretched power that seeps into him. And then his body starts to become dimmer and darker. The gray-like tint he has becoming closer to black, until it covers his entire body. The glowing spherical objects that have been on his belt you saw him use before all go out. There we are. His eyes close. Sleep now, O great protector. And he drops to the ground and does not move. Come. History is about to be made. We have found yet another. Not even Galdrum can get in our way. Let's find those allies of his. They have something that belongs to me. I mean us. And then a black spherical circle appears, shimmering on the ground below. And they all hop into it before it finally closes up. And after conveying all this information over to everyone, you come back into consciousness. The last thing you hear are the screams and terror of everyone in the Temple of Nyx in the background. That's set aflame. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
What?
Oh,
Oh my god.
Holy
Oh my god,
shit.
that's insane.
Oh no! Oh no, not the old man.
no, not the Davia, not the temple, the dancers.
I guess we're gonna have to seek help from another government.
They were the only established authority we knew other than the Seekers.
Well, we're gonna have to go see the queen then. Forward the messages on up.
Well,
See you guys next week.
see you guys next week.
See you guys next week.